We're getting a response from the Bharatiya Janata Party as well. We have Shazia Ilmi, spokesperson of the BJP, also joining us. Ms. Ilmi, how do you read what's happening within the Aam Aadmi Party? There have been several instances in the past where some of its senior leaders have parted ways with Arvind Kejriwal. Do you see Raghav Chadha now doing the same, given the fact that he's been stripped of his position within the AAP as the deputy leader of the party in the Rajya Sabha?
Well, I'm hardly surprised. This has happened time and time again. And like I would say in Hindi, ye to hona hi tha. Now, Raghav Chadha became a leader in his own right. He started promoting issues and of course himself too, and built his own image, his own brand, so to speak. And that is something that Aam Aadmi Party and a very insecure leader like Arvind Kejriwal would never tolerate. He would not stand it at any cost, so to speak. So obviously, Raghav Chadha became too big for his boots, they would presume and believe, which is why he's being cut to size. Now, as a Rajya Sabha member, he can't be thrown out. But there are ways to kind of contain him, which is what's being done. But this has been a long history. And I was the first one, by the way, to leave Aam Aadmi Party because I could not bear the hypocrisy and whatever was going on. And then, of course, it was Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav. Prashant Bhushan, of course, was a very important member and he was part of creating the party and the movement before that. So they were thrown out, unceremoniously. I chose to resign, but they were thrown out. And you reach a point with Aam Aadmi Party that you just cannot stay. And the same thing happened to Kumar Vishwas. And you know what happened with Swati Maliwal?
Yes, I was actually going to come to Swati Maliwal because the Aam Aadmi Party now finds itself in a bit of a quandary with two of its leaders essentially having fallen out of favor with the party leadership, both of them in the Rajya Sabha. I was talking about Swati Maliwal, and of course you have Raghav Chadha right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what transpired with Swati Maliwal, and of course she's not allowed to speak from AAP, so to speak, and that remains AAP's prerogative. But I want to ask you a question, Siddharth. Why isn't Sanjay Singh being made the leader, being deputed by Aam Aadmi Party? Tell me a good reason.
No, you're somebody who's been in the party before this. What explains the choice of Ashok Mittal? What explains the choice of Ashok Mittal?
Yes, so Ashok Mittal is not a threat. Others are a threat. Raghav was becoming a threat. Raghav was practically running the Punjab, not Bhagwant Mann, who everybody knows is incapable of governance. It was far too obvious. So Raghav was Kejriwal's man in Punjab until he became too big for his own boots and began to command his own following, started talking about policies and schemes that he wanted to promote. So obviously he would be cut to size. But somebody like Sanjay Singh, somebody like Raghav Chadha, they were becoming a threat, which is why they'll never be promoted. And of course, Raghav Chadha has been asked to kind of step down from where he was, because obviously when he was in the parliament, he was speaking about the questions and the agenda that suited him, that would make him a hero and not Arvind Kejriwal a hero.
But Ms. Ilmi, here's how the Aam Aadmi Party, just to play devil's advocate here, would also look at things. Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia might say that, look, we entrusted him with a series of very important responsibilities, including in the state of Punjab. We nominated him, of course, to the Rajya Sabha. And therefore, the party expects an element of reciprocity for somebody having been promoted to that extent. And that reciprocity also entails a show of solidarity on his part, especially when there are court cases that have been lodged against two very senior personalities within the AAP, and they came out unscathed vis-a-vis the discharge that was handed down by the trial court in the liquor scam. Of course, it's now gone into appeal in the Delhi High Court. And Raghav Chadha was very muted in his response, not saying a word. So therefore, they see that as a sense of betrayal on the part of a man that they've promoted. How do you respond to that kind of a claim?
Yeah, Siddharth, you're right. To some extent, that's fair what you're saying. And the same thing happened earlier when Arvind Kejriwal was arrested. Raghav Chadha was in UK for a very minor surgery, which could have happened in Delhi in one of the Delhi government-controlled hospitals. So that became a point of criticism. And increasingly, it was being felt by Aam Aadmi Party, and I spoke to a couple of MLAs there, that Raghav Chadha was doing his own thing. And yes, Aam Aadmi Party would expect, because once they have sent you to Rajya Sabha, you would be expected to do more and toe the line and talk only about the agenda. Now that Punjab is very, very important. But Raghav Chadha was becoming too big. He was becoming an individual leader on his own standing, and he was displaying that. So clearly he stopped being a yes man to Kejriwal. And he was becoming bigger than he was expected to. So obviously this happened. But you know, what happened with Swati Maliwal was also reprehensible.
Right.
Raghav Chadha came in much, much later when Aam Aadmi Party was already formed. We were part of the movement way back, you know, when there was no chance of it becoming a party. And Swati Maliwal was in fact there even longer. So what was after what was done to Swati? I mean, this is hardly something we can talk about. And I'm not in the least surprised. I mean, you know, this was expected to happen and is expected. And Raghav also, with his very, glamorous wife, somebody who's an actor, was being talked about much more.
And that is something. Okay, but
was being talked about. He was in news a lot more. You know, he's married to a popular film actor, so Pariniti. So obviously there was a lot of media on him always. So he was stealing Arvind Kejriwal's glory. And that obviously would affect a very insecure leader like Arvind Kejriwal. It's all about him. You cannot be an individual. You cannot have a mind of your own. And as long as you're a sycophant, you'll survive. As long as you're a yes man, you'll survive.
But Ms. Ilmi, so you have a situation now, Ms. Ilmi, where of course Swati Maliwal is in the Rajya Sabha, and so is Raghav Chadha. He's not resigned from the primary membership of the AAP just as yet. He still has a couple more years before the Rajya Sabha term ends, because he was elected in 2022, so that term will last until 2028. And you've said that you've also been in touch with some people within the Aam Aadmi Party, a few MLAs. Is the BJP making overtures to Raghav Chadha and vice versa?
You know, I would not comment on that. I would not be privy to that. And it's a very unfair question, you know. So I don't think that is fair at all. But Raghav Chadha, ever since the party was formed, was clearly Arvind Kejriwal's man, you know. So he was given a whole lot of responsibility, and they would have a big problem with Raghav Chadha, you know, hogging more glory than Arvind Kejriwal, being far more in media headlines and in news, doing his own thing. That would be considered as betrayal by Aam Aadmi Party and by Arvind Kejriwal. It has to be about Arvind Kejriwal. You see, even in the foundation stones that are being, established in Punjab, it is Arvind Kejriwal's name. I mean, I don't know why, with what authority. It would not be Bhagwant Mann, but Arvind Kejriwal.
Sure.
So that's
we'll see what the implications are of this latest decision as well in the Punjab elections slated to be held next year as well. But Ms. Ilmi, many thanks. Just one issue. You did say that I asked you an unfair question about whether or not the BJP is in touch with Raghav Chadha. I'm duty bound to ask that question. You're after all a member of the BJP as well, and therefore I could not leave you without asking you that question. Yes.
It's your job to ask Siddharth,
absolutely.
And it's my job to say no comments.
All right. We'll wait and see how this all evolves. Many thanks, Ms. Ilmi, for your perspective on this developing story.